about spousal support, not the monetary kind. Whether or not you should always be there for someone, whether it be a friend or a loved one or not. We've got some examples of that. Let's introduce my panel. To my right, it is Connie B from Majic 100. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Kurt Stoodley from CTV Morning Live, and Sandy Sharkey from Cub & Company 93.9 Bob FM.
Hey.
So. This is all brought up by something that happened on social media with the wife of Wes Welker, who plays for the New England Patriots. Of course, they lost to the Baltimore Ravens, and she said why don't you check out Baltimore Ravens Ray Lewis's Facebook page, or the Wikipedia on him, excuse me, where it says that he was he's like
innocent of murder charges.
Yeah.
She listed a whole bunch of stuff about a member of the opposing team that had just beat her husband's team.
This is where exactly it. 6 kids, 4 wives, acquitted for murder, paid a family off. Yay, what a Hall of Fame player, a true role model. She quickly took it down.
Yeah, but it was too late. Because once you say it, you say it.
This isn't the first time that a Patriots wife has done this either. Giselle Bundchen said earlier, my husband can't throw and catch the ball, kind of insinuating that the receivers weren't there for her husband. So, is this a nice? Who do you feel about
Should you really get involved?
No, you shouldn't. And
your
oh no,
spouses?
their husband are still making a $1 paycheck. Life is so rough.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say anything. That's where you type it, you look at it, you say rah, 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 and then you delete it.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't.
Yeah, and especially in high-profile situations like that. Like, I doubt that your spouse would say, Rob, would come out and, say nasty things at an emotional level about if somebody said something about you.
No, not at all. He wouldn't even say it to the person.
It's hands off,
no,
right?
It's hands off. But also, it's so embarrassing. This story about the NFL player and his wife going on Twitter or Facebook or whatever it was, social networking.
Yeah.
And she's putting down the guy from the other team. Now, I'm assuming her husband, I haven't seen a photo of him, but he's an NFL player, so I'm assuming he's a big, tough guy.
He's one of the smaller guys, but he's in good shape.
Okay,
You're right.
Not Wes
still
Welker.
though, how embarraing though that your wife is like
Fighting your battle.
So you need your wife to fight your battles for you.
Well, in my case, sometimes you do.
Yeah, but Connie, in your case, sometimes it's better that way.
I know.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Everybody knows that you come home, you vent about work, someone's on your nerves or whatever, and do you take that with a grain of salt and then let it lie? Or?
But everybody does. It doesn't matter what job you do.
Yeah, you don't hate me when Stu complains about me, right?
No, and he does
Thank
it
you.
on such a regular
You're married to
basis.
Stu?
I know. But no, you don't go to social media because it's always there. It'll never go away.
And I think the problem here, no matter if you're talking about well-known people or people who are not so well-known, and government workers, for example, if you react on an emotional basis, you're really putting things in jeopardy, be it the job, be it friendships, be it relationships, whatever, by reacting emotionally on social media. That's the worst possible thing you can do.
No question about that. But even in a social situation without social media, Sandy, there are people who get on our nerves every day at work, whatever, for one day, and then the next day, now, should it be unconditional support from your spouse on this, or should you be hearing, maybe a balanced opinion from?
I think a balanced opinion. I mean, if it's unconditional, like I already have my husband at the point where he's so perfectly trained. Like I would never trade him in for it because I put so much work into him. So he will not.
Rob,
he will.
I had nothing to do with it.
He will give me support 95% of the time. But I mean, when I'm doing something stupid, I'm doing something stupid.
Right, and he'll let you know.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, and I think that's important too, to have that balance, right? But that's behind closed doors, right?
Yes.
That's not Connie's not going to start tweeting about what an idiot her husband was that day,
on Twitter,
even though it may be true.
Exactly. Now, so that's the thing. There are some times where you're complaining to your spouse and you just want them to listen.
Yeah, you
guys
just want
are
a sounding
always
board,
trying to solve things or tell you how it's your fault. We need to be quiet sometimes, right?
Sometimes quiet is good. Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes that venting just has to happen, no matter, even if you don't agree necessarily, right? It's just you got to let it out, and it's over with, and then you move on from there.
Don't just because you heard your spouse complain about someone, don't snub them at the Christmas party, right? Like, don't. Yeah, I heard about you. Well, I heard about you.
Did you get the snub again? I just don't understand how someone like Wes Welker's wife or Tom Brady's wife or whoever it might be on that level of notoriety, especially in the good old USA. is starting to tweet out because it's sour grapes that they lost a football game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the wives need media training as well as the player.
That actually might be a plan because they do
but
go
shouldn't
through
you know
that.
better at this point?
Well, you would think.
You would think.
There you go.
Think first, type later.
Yeah.
That's it. There you go.
Well, I'm going to hear it when I get home.
We'll leave it on that. Think first, type later. And I know you said you type it out and look at it. Just be careful. Sometimes you hit send and don't mean to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Careful who you're sending to.
I want to thank my panel today, Sandy, Sharkey, Stoodley, and Connie B with Top Talkers.